Hey there, Knolly Williams here, the business healer. Welcome back to the podcast. Now, I'm super excited for this podcast episode because here I'm able to take you back. That's right, we're going back to Colorado Springs where I was able to do a Success with Listings seminar. Now, this is part one. It's a multi-part series. Now, you want to make sure that you listen to every single part in the series, but this is part one. This is where I'm able to really kick off how to have a very successful listing career. Now, if you're in the real estate game, I know you are, and you want to have success, you got to start focusing on listings. And I'm going to share with you right here how to get started. Now, if you love the podcast, be sure that you download it, share it with those that you love as well, that people you like, okay, share it with them. And also subscribe to this podcast because we're dropping new episodes every single week. All right, enjoy. Welcome to the Success with Listings podcast, where we help you get success in the real estate game the easy way. Now you can get off the roller coaster of feast and famine and out of the rat race of competing with every other agent in town. Hi, I'm Knolly Williams. I took over 1,000 listings during my first 10 years in the real estate game, and in this podcast, I show you how to have success with listings. Let's go. 96% of my focus has been on listings. I took over 1,000 listings my first 10 years in the business, and now I'm dedicated really to paying it forward. Okay, that's mostly what I do. I teach, train, coach. In 2015, I finished the year 2014. I did 153 transactions. Okay, and I did that with typically, well, I had a couple of assistants to help. You'll learn that with just a few people, you can do a lot of, if you have the right systems in place. Okay. But I was going to try to ramp my business up to 400 deals a year because I'm from Austin, Texas. That's where I live. And you can do that kind of production there. I'm not sure, in this area. But you can definitely do that. People are there that are doing that. So I prayed about it. I'm a man of faith. And I prayed about it. I said, this is what I'm going to do. And I kind of created a team because here's the thing. How many of y'all know it's easier to do 100 deals a year than it is to do 30 deals a year? How many of y'all know that? Okay, most real estate agents don't realize that. When I was 8 months in the business, and I'm going to tell you guys some things that maybe you haven't heard before, and it's okay. If you don't believe what I'm saying, that's okay too. Okay, because I'm not here to get you to convince you of anything. I'm here to tell you truth. Okay, now whether you may not receive, because these things may be unfamiliar to you, and that's okay. But what I want you to do is play along as if the possibility of it exists. Like maybe that's possible. My coach, 8 months in the business, I was paying her $1,000 a month. I was 8 months in the business. I was doing a lot of deals. And she said, no, and my goal was to do 40 deals a year. That was my goal coming in the business. And she says, Knolly, you need to do 100 deals a year. And I said, that's ridiculous. Who would do that? That's insane. Like, I can't even keep up doing 40 deals. She said, I guarantee you that if you do 100 deals a year, it would be much easier for you than the 40 deals that you're doing. So I gave it a try, and she was absolutely right. She was absolutely right. And I'm going to explain to you why that's right as we get in the presentation, okay? Now, if there's anything that I'm sharing with you that you stumble across or stumble on, and you just don't get it, like it's like, man, I don't understand what he's saying here, just raise your hand, right? Just raise your hand, interrupt me, I will get back to my train of thought. So I was going to do 400 deals a year. I did 153, I was going to go do 400. And I built up a team to do this. And I heard this voice in my head, the Lord, said, we're not doing that. I said, yeah, I'm doing that. I already have my team in place. I bought all these brochures. I spent a lot of money to basically ramp it up to this, and this is what we're doing. He says, no, I've created you to go out and feed my sheep. And I'm a Bible teacher. I've been teaching Bible for 30 years. So I'm very into Jesus. I'm very into the Bible and all that. But I'm also an entrepreneur. I love being successful, And so I said, no, I'm going to do this. Well, I kept getting that tug, that itch in my heart to really go out and teach. How many of y'all like to give back? Some of you guys may not be in the point where you can give back. It might be all about you right now, and that's okay. Don't feel ashamed about it, because like right now, you got to put food on the table for your family, right, before you can go feed other families, and that's all right. Okay, so you're going to get a 90-page handout, and you're going to get the video of what we're doing here today, okay? So here, and the reason I tell you guys this is you can take meticulous notes if you want to, And that's okay, but you'll also get the playback, right? So just try to absorb what I'm teaching, if you can. Ground rules: cell phones on vibrate, minimize side talking, okay? Have fun and no chewing gum. Those are the only rules I have. Everybody okay with that? Anybody got any questions? You guys all know that the no chewing gum is a joke, right? Y'all know that. I was at one seminar. I think it was in. I've done my seminar over 100 times. Been to over 70 cities. Sometimes we have 600 people. Sometimes we have a small group like this. It doesn't matter to me. Each one of you is a precious soul of God, and I've been sent here to help you. You know, not like, oh, you need help, I'm going to help you. No, we all need help from each other. You're also here to help me, right? To help me. So I'm going to learn from you. You're going to learn from me. But this poor gal in Seattle, she swallowed her gum. Oh, I felt so bad because she thought that was for real. I was like, don't y'all do jokes in this town? You know, like, anyway, that's a joke. I don't. How many of y'all like rules? You do. See the rules, and the rules people always sit up front. I don't like that. I'm the guy. I left home when I was 16 years old. Why? Because I didn't like rules. You know, when I was 18, I knew everything, and I left home at 16. When I was 19, I reunited with my mom. You know, and I was so surprised at how much she learned in 3 years. When I was 16, she didn't know anything. When I was 19, I was like, Mom, you learned a lot. Okay, God first, family, life, and then business. That's kind of how I run my business. You run yours the way you want, and this is just kind of my philosophy. You kind of open up and share with you. Let me tell you about the paycheck that you'll never spend. People ask, why do you do what you do? You know, and sometimes people will ask you, hey, why are you in real estate? People ask me all the time, Knolly, why do you? One guy was asking me, he says, do you make more money teaching? And I about fell out my chair. You can make good money teaching, okay, if you're smart about it. But the reality is, I can sell a ton of houses and make tons of money. Yeah, I did that for years. There's no problem, you know. God's given me a great life, and I think He's done that for all of us. But there was a paycheck that I found that I've never been able to spend. And here's how it goes. I was in the coffee line at a big convention. Anybody ever been to a big convention? And you've been to the coffee line? And I was a speaker that year, and so I was trying to get my coffee in, early in the morning. And I'm like, man, where's the VIP line around here? What's going on? I'm in this long line. And this guy walks up behind me. He says, are you Knolly Williams? And I look back, and I'm like, yeah, I'm Knolly Williams. And I'm thinking, because you get cranky in the morning. I do, anyway. At that time I was. I'm better now. I said, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, ain't too many black cowboys here. Yeah, that's me. I'm Knolly Williams, And then he says, well, can I buy you a coffee? And what do you think when somebody tells you, can I buy you a lunch?
What do you want?
What do you want? Exactly. See how? And so I'm thinking, I'm looking at the line, I'm looking at him, I'm looking at the line, and I said, this guy wants a coaching session. He's going to get a 20-minute coaching, right, all the way up to the thing. So, and I said, well, sure, have we met before? Do I know you? Because, you meet a lot of people when you travel. You guys travel too. And so he says, Knolly, I've never met you before, but let me share with you how you changed my life. I was like, okay. He says, I watched a YouTube video that you did. And he says, I was on my way out of the business. Anybody ever been there? Your family, go get a real job. Trying to sell real estate, right? That's where he was. He said he watched a video. This was back in the short sale days. He watched a video that I did. And he said that he was down to his last listing. Well, he took 60 listings. Just from watching that one video, he took over 60 listings within the next year. But what it really did was it allowed him to stay in the business and allowed him to put food on the table for his family. That's what he said I did for him. That's the paycheck that you'll never spend. I mean, I've earned a lot of money in my life, but what he gave me from that, I'll never spend that. I can wake up every morning and say, why am I in Colorado Springs? I could be at home in Austin in my bed. Oh, remember the paycheck that you'll never spend? That's why you're doing this, right? And you run across lovely people that you said you heard me speak, right? What, 9 years ago? And she's back again for more torment, right? Good job. And you watch the videos. Good for you. So that's the paycheck that you'll never spend. That's why I do what I do. I have a book called Success with Listings. I used to bring these books. I used to sell them. If you don't have it, I highly recommend. It comes highly recommended. It's a national bestseller. It debuted as the #1 release on Amazon. You can download it absolutely free. Just go to Knolly.com and just download it. Just put in your information. It will email a copy of it to you because it's a big download.
Is it Audible?
It's not on Audible yet. I love Audible. Oh my goodness. I've told people, I said I will never get into Audible, but
You should record it.
but the thing about this, I should record it, and I will record it. It is on Kindle. It's got a Kindle version, but there's a lot of diagrams and there's a lot of scripts. It's got over 95 scripts. So the thing about Audible, this is a textbook. So the thing about Audible that's kind of a little bit weird is that this isn't really a book that you read like an audio book. It's a reference manual. So you'll read like the first 10 chapters, and then the rest of it, I have a 46-step listing system. So the rest of it is just like step 1, here's what you do. Step 2, so you'll be going back to it like, okay, I'm on step 4, what do I do next? And then you'll have your client on the phone like, here's my script, okay, hi there, that kind of thing.
Is it still in print? Can you see?
Yeah, it's still, God, is it still in print? How long is it?
I mean, if it's digital, then you can.
Yeah, it's still in print.
Okay.
And
I don't want to wait.
and it's on Amazon. I mean, you can get it on Amazon. It's like $16.99 or something like that. I just reduced the price of it to $16.99. Or you can go to Knolly.com. But I highly recommend we'll pass a few of them around just so you guys can look at the content in there. But because people used to say, can I pick your brain? Can I pick your brain? Can I pick your brain? And so I finally just picked it myself. Took 430 pages because people want to know, how'd you sell over 1,000 houses in 10 years? And so I just shared with them how I did that in the book. So you guys can just kind of circulate that while I'm talking. Now, what we're going to learn today, why listings are the best opportunity for you guys. Okay, why that's the best opportunity. Why you should transition your core business, if you haven't already, to listings. Why you should do that. How to win the listing before you ever meet the seller. Did you know that nowadays you have to win the listing before you ever meet the seller? It's a weird proposition, right? See, we went out to eat last night. We went to eat Thai food because I like it a little spicy, right? And Juanita does not like spice. I learned that. But what do? We looked to see the reviews. We looked to see what people were saying about it. In other words, they won us over before we ever stepped foot in the restaurant. They had a 4.5 star rating. We're going to go eat there. Okay, so that's what people are doing with you. They're looking you up. They're Googling you. They're even Googling your email address. They're trying to find out as much about you as possible, because I can guarantee you the last thing a seller wants to do is sit down with Knolly Williams. That's the last thing they want to do. Okay, and it is in fact the last thing that they do. Okay, because they will never call me up to sit down with them unless they're pretty sure they're going to sell. Unless it's a friend of mine, past client, friends, sphere of influence, no problem. They'll talk to you. But generally, sellers, they really don't want to talk to you because they don't want to be sold. They don't want to be talked to, even though we wouldn't do that to them, right? Most agents, we get a bad rap. Most of the agents that I've talked to and come across are very honest and ethical. But we do get a bad rap in the press and everywhere else. How to earn more money and work less, and how to get all the success tools that I use and have used in my business that have helped take over 100 listings a year for over 10 years in a row. I'm going to share with you how to get all that stuff absolutely free. Are y'all up for that training? Okay, that's what we're going to get to today. Part 1, though, is about why listings. Why listings? Now, how many of you guys know that you should be taking more listings? Raise your hand. Okay? So you're already convinced that listings are what's going on, right? Okay. Well, this is going to help cement it in your mind. I'm going to give you my top 10 reasons. We're going to kind of try to thumb through these as fast as possible, because what I'd really like to do, if we can, depends on how many questions you guys have as I'm going through the material, is get to my Q&A section, my mastermind section, because that's not the later on today mastermind, but where you guys just get to ask me anything on your heart. Okay. Right now it's kind of we're getting to know each other. Let me share with you just a little bit more about me. Without getting too lengthy. So I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I was born in 1970. When I was 10, we moved to Los Angeles, and I was kind of raised there. I got into bad stuff when I was a kid, 14, 15, 16. Has anybody ever raised teenagers? Okay. Have some of them gone wayward? That was me, by the way. I'm the wayward kid. Raised in church, more or less, in and out, kind of, but just really I wasn't into it. And so when I was 16 years old, I left home. I said, I know what I want to do, and I'm going to do my thing, right? And that's what I did. I just went and lived with friends. I mean, it was just crazy. So by the time I was 18, I reconciled with my mom. I reconciled with the Lord, and I decided I don't want to live like this. My uncle in Austin, Texas said, boy, come on out here and help me out with my business. He was in the music business. So I moved at 18 years old to Austin, Texas. Been there. I took an overnight bag. I mean, I was going to be there for like 3 weeks or a month or so. I've been there 30 years. I never left. I just never left. I love it that much. So when I was 23 years old, okay, I got married when I was 22. Been married 27 years. My wife's right back here. Give her a round of applause for hanging out with me. We'll be 27 years next month, okay? And when her and I got married, I was working as a graphic designer for a lawyer, for an attorney, okay? But I always wanted to have my own business. I was an entrepreneur at heart. So I started my own business when I was 20. I wanted to be in the music business. I was 23 years old, and was I 22? Was I 22 when I started? 22 years old. And I told my boss, I gave him a 3-month notice, 3 months, because I loved my boss, and I didn't want him to be scrambling. And I came home, I told my wife, I said, I quit my job. She about to fell out, right? Because we were making back then $1,000 a month each. Okay, this is back in 1992. I raised $1,800 from family and friends, not borrowed the money. I just went to them and asked them, can you give me 125, whatever you can do, because I want to start my own business. And I started that business with $1,800. 5 years later, we were making $150,000 a month in the music business. Grew the #1 Christian rap label in the world, okay, worldwide, distributed by EMI Capital. When we signed on with them, they gave us $600,000 just to sign on, actually $650,000 sign-on bonus, okay? When I signed on with them, I was 29 years old. Now let me ask you a question. Who gives a 29-year-old $650,000? It happens all the time in some of these, entertainment, right? And in sports and things like that. Well, what do you think I did with the money? Yeah. I mean, I spent it on the business, but I can't account for it today. Didn't pay off my house, didn't do anything. We had a 6,000 square foot home on 10 acres with a 1,200 square foot recording studio and a 1,500 square foot office building. Lost everything, okay? I was 33 years old, lost it all. Why? Because the music business tanked. Has the real estate business ever tanked? Has it ever done that? Well, that's what the music business did. What happened? Digital came along. Digital. MP3, okay? And record labels were irrelevant, okay? Artists didn't need us. And so I just lost 70% of my business seemingly overnight. It didn't happen overnight. The warning signs were there, but I didn't pay attention to them, okay? So I said, what am I going to do now? Real estate. When I was 33 years old, got my license, okay? And that's what I started. I started doing real estate. Now, because of my personality profile, I studied the game. I was scared to death to get into real estate, scared to death. So I got my license in June, started practicing in December. But because of all that groundwork, I was able to take 21 listings my first 74 days in the business. Okay, and it just went on from there. Now that's just a little history about me. Let's move. I promised to be brief, and I didn't keep my promise. But I want you guys to have a little backstory. Anybody ever failed? Okay, I've been bankrupt. I've been through bankruptcy. I've had a home foreclose. I've had to short sell one of my houses. I've been through whatever you guys have been through. I've been there. Okay, but I'm on the other side of it now. Fast forward, my house is paid off. All my cars are paid off. I have no debt of any kind. My credit cards, I pay them every month, and I'm debt free. So now when I get up in the morning, I go play. What do I want to do today? I want to go to Colorado Springs, hang out with Juanita, and teach you guys. Why? Because I don't have to do anything in particular. Does that make sense? Right? And that's what I want for you guys as well if you're not already there. Now, focusing on seller listings will allow you to have it will allow you to get what you want faster and allow you to have a life. Because a lot of times when it comes to working with buyers, your life gets put on hold. Okay, you want to go on that cruise for 10 days. My wife and I just got back from 30 days. I'm not bragging, guys. This is the life anybody can live. Okay, we just got back from being 30 days overseas. Okay, we did 10 days in the Greek islands. We did the Holy Land. We did London for 5 days. We did New York, and we did Italy. Okay, 30 days we were gone. I didn't have no buyers calling me. No, you didn't have to deal with that. And if I want to go on that cruise, because I used to love cruising. I don't like it as much as I used to. Anybody like cruising? Mm-hmm. You don't like it.
I don't like it.
Have you done it?
Yes.
Yeah, and but there was a time in my life where I loved to cruise. I loved to cruise. But I can tell you, if I would, let me just put this scenario. You're working 13 buyers right now. Just put this in your head. You got 13 buyers, and they all want to buy right now. Right now, they want to put in offers. They want to buy. Are you going on that cruise?
No.
We ain't going on no cruise, right? But now you got 13 sellers. We're packing our bags because all I have to do. Your name?
Vicky.
Vicky, and your name?
Colsey.
So Colsey's going on the cruise. She just calls Vicky and says, "Hey, Vicky, I've got." She may not tell her how many listings she's got because you don't want Vicky to be hating on you, right? Say, "I got a few listings and I need to go away for a few days. Would you mind babysitting my listings into escrow?" They're not going to close by the time she gets back in 10 days. You're just going to babysit them into escrow, the ones that actually get a contract. Maybe 3-4 of them go under contract. Cool. She'll pay you X number of dollars per deal, right? So it's easy when you're doing listings to go to live the life around you. Well, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Success with Listings podcast. If you are serious about taking your real estate career to the highest heights, making more money and helping more clients while working less hours and spending more time with your family, be sure to get your copy of my free book, Triple My Listing, absolutely free at successwithlistings.com. Now, you want to be sure that you subscribe to the podcast and check out successwithlistings.com to get your copy of my free book. Hey, I'll see you on the next one.